Hi guys, today I have something really exciting to share with you. This is big news, I think. It's big news for Angie. I have mentioned her in my channel, I think at least a couple of times. She has an awesome small YouTube channel all about nails, and you know I love nails. So I watch her channel quite often and we've become friends, and she decided to do her own brand. So she named her brand Painted Phalanges. You should go watch her own video to see the explanation, her inspiration behind all those things. I will save all of that for her because that's her glory. But she sent me her first debut collection that's for the Halloween, and there are, well, actually 5 polishes plus 1, and I'm just really excited to share this with you, and I hope you are as excited as I am. And also just a little information about this collection. All the polishes will come live on September 20th, and it's a pre-order, and she would send everything out no later than October 4th. And like I said, the collection has 5 polishes, but she did release 6 in total because there's one special polish that doesn't really belong to this collection. So let's just talk about those polishes. I think she did a great job in terms of color. I think this color combination totally is a Halloween themed for sure, because you got your typical green and orange, and also some vampy colors. And on top of that, she tried out a few different formulas, which is kind of impressive, I feel. So let's talk about, let's start with my favorite. This one is definitely my favorite from the collection. It's in the color Moony. And this one is a white Crelly. And you guys all know I love a good white Crelly. I just can't get over that. And this one, I think what made it so special for me is that it's not a typical white. It's hard to see right now, but once you have it on your nails, or if you put it next to some white object, you can tell this one is just slightly gray. And I love that about this polish. I think just that little added gray makes it a little bit more fall-like, more muted. It just looks so different. I think I really appreciate that couple of drops of gray in there, and then all those little silver and blue glitter just added all that fun. So I think this one is really good, and the formula is very impressive. I only needed 2 very easy coats, and it covered completely, and there's no bumpiness or whatsoever. But of course I would recommend a good top coat over all polishes. It makes any polish last longer, and it makes any polish a little bit more glossy, so why not? But I think this one is definitely my favorite. I love this polish. And again, this one is in the color Moony. Then she has a orange polish. This one I think is really, really good. I love a good orange. This one is not so super muted. It's borderline like a muted pumpkin orange to a summer orange, I feel. So you can probably wear this in both seasons. I think it works out great for me right now because we are still experiencing some pretty hot days, even though my mind is set on the fall, but the weather doesn't really match up to my head now. So I think a color like this is perfect because it goes in both seasons. This one is kind of like a pumpkinish cream, but it does have a lot of gold shimmer. You can tell that shimmer right there. The shimmer is definitely detectable on your nails. You can see it pretty well, and I like it. I think it added a little bit of an interest. Sometimes I really like a good old cream, but a little bit added shimmer is always really fancy, I feel. So I really like that. Formula is easy again, 2 coats, it gets opaque no problem, and it's very easy to work with. And I did not even tell you what it is. This one is in the color 2319. And all of those polishes are named after monsters because the collection is called Monster Party, and I'm not too familiar with any Halloween themed things, so I'm just gonna take her words for it. But anyways, it's in the shade 2319. By the way, she made sure she has those wide rounded brushes. I think they are really good for wider nail beds, and for me, my nail beds are really, really narrow. So for example, my pinky, I just need 1 stroke and it covers. It's kind of strange when that happens, but for me, I'm okay with wider brush as long as they're rounded. She does have to change her bottle last minute. So she sent out the PR bottle like this, but her actual release is going to have a different bottle that allows the brushes to be lifted up just a slight bit so that they don't go all the way to the bottom, and therefore they wouldn't be too fluffy. I think that's her reasoning. I will show you a comparison picture of the two different bottle shapes. They're not dramatically different, but I hope it helps with the brush, because I do think the brush is a little fluffy because they're, you know, too soaked in. So hopefully that wouldn't be a problem for you guys. So I was holding this brush in my hand like forever. So this one is in the color 10,000 volts. This one is a grass green. Like, I think this is your definition of grass green, or at least for me. And it's a jelly polish, and it has a lot of different components, and the flakies really showed up nicely against this jelly base. You know, you can see all that sparkle, and this one also glows in the dark. So if you're into that, I think that's great for Halloween. For me, this one is a little bit more on the sheer side. I did use 3 coats for the picture, and you can definitely still see my nail line. I think if you have longer nails, or if you're picky about a polish or like sheer polish like this, you probably would want to use a greenish colored undie for it, so that way you don't have to layer coats after coats, but you can still see all the sparkles. But I do appreciate the color and the fun component. Just next time when I wear it, I would use it somewhat like a topper. The next 2 polishes here, I think I'm going to talk about them together just because I feel the formula of those 2 are pretty much identical, and they just have different colors and different glitters inside basically. So right here what you're looking at is a Vampy Purple and a black, and they're both kind of, I would say they're more jelly than crelly. I feel because they're a little bit more sheer than a typical crelly. So the black one here is a black jelly base with a lot of fun just red glitters. Can you see all that? It's so cool. And this one is called Bleh Bleh Bleh. And the Vampy Purple here has some black glitter, some purple, flaky, and glitter, and some other colored fun square glitters. And this one is called Flying Potion. So I think the formula on those 2 are pretty much identical. They're both, like I said, a little bit more on the jelly side, meaning that they are less opaque. But I used 3 coats for my swatch pictures for both of them. I think 3 coats was a little bit of an overkill for me, honestly. I think 2 coats would be probably better, but because I've never tried them, I wanted to see the difference, and once I went with a 3rd coat, I realized 2 coats would have been better. So the purple here, it's so vampy that on my nails, if you just stay under low light, you probably would mistake it as a blackish color, but if you go under some brighter lights, you can definitely tell it's a deep purple. But this purple is vampy, but at the same time very muted. I feel it has a lot of grayish tone in it. It's not a very sharp purple, if that makes any sense. So I think it's somewhat interesting because it does stay a little bit warm toned in a way. So I think that's cool. And then the black one, I probably prefer it over the purple slightly more, just because the glitters inside are, you know, they pop a little bit more, and I like that about it. I think those different red glitters really just sparkle against the black base really nicely. So I think those 2 are very similar in formula, finish, and all that. So out of this collection, 5 polishes, I think my favorite are those 2, the white crelly and the orange, because formula wise I just prefer more opaque polishes, and also color-wise, I'm not personally a big fan of vampy colors. So I think those 2 are big winners for me. If your budget doesn't allow you, you just wanted to pick up 1 or 2 polishes from her, I would suggest those 2 highly. Of course, at the beginning I mentioned she also has a bonus, like +1 polish. This one is in the color Taylor's Big Day. It was made specifically for her daughter's wedding. This one is a teal kind of color. I think on camera it looks a lot lighter than in person because the camera is really catching up catching the light. That makes it a little lighter looking, but basically the color is accurate but just a little deeper. It feels more so like a metallic polish, but it's actually acrylic, and it has some shreds of different color flakies that are kind of in the same color family, but they do give a little bit of a sparkle under direct light. I think the formula on this one is more opaque compared to her jellies in here, but at the same time it's not quite as opaque as like a cream. I did use just 2 coats of it. It covered completely. I had no trouble with that. I think if you're into deeper kind of just teal color that has a lot of purple shimmer, that kind of polish, you would like this one too. I think at the end I do want to mention a little bit about her brush, because I said that she decided to go with a rounded top white brush. Like she said, she's gonna fix the fluffy brush problem, but for me, because they were fluffy, because the PR, you know, it's a early batch, the fluffiness and the whiteness did make it a little bit hard for me to apply because how narrow my nails are. So if my one stroke didn't go well, it's not gonna go well, you know what I mean? But hopefully that wouldn't be the problem for you, and I'm sure Angie would fix that for you, because she is sending some replacement brushes my way so that I can have better brush. I can just replace those ones. So I'm really excited to give that a try. I really wanted to hold off doing this review until I get the new brushes, but my time is really limited now, so I really couldn't wait. But like I said, I'm sure if you have any trouble with the brush, you can just contact Angie and she would fix that for you. And I'm just really excited for her. I think this is really exciting. It's a big step for her. I don't even know. I'm sure you guys understand it's never easy to come up with your own brand and do all the little things, you know, design the bottle, design the logo, have the colors, of course. I just think it's such a process, and I'm super proud of her, and she has a full-time job. I just don't even know how she manages, but it's really good for her. Like I said, this collection would be live September 20th, and out of the 6, those 2 are my favorite. I would really suggest you pick up those 2, and if you're into vampy colors, of course, go for those ones. So I hope you would try to pick up a couple of the polishes from her, try to support her, and of course, all in all, I will hope that you really would enjoy this collection. So that will be it for me. I will have all her info linked down below, and if you enjoy this video, don't forget to give me a like and also subscribe to my channel. And thank you guys for watching. Bye.